Why do I hide my energy and sound healing behind a paywall? That's the question we'll look at today in Ask Me Anything. I'm Celia Kane. Thanks for joining me. I actually get this question a lot. Why do I make my mindset coaching readily available, but not my energy healing or sound healing? Well, that's because with mindset coaching, you can listen and then take it or leave it. But energy and sound healing can be dangerous. Now, what do I mean by that? Let me give you an example. Imagine a cold plunge bath or pool. Now, you have heard from all of your friends and all of these people on social media that cold plunges are absolutely what you should do. You should definitely take that ice bath. It's incredibly beneficial. It'll improve your blood pressure. It'll make you younger. It will just do all of these wonderful, wonderful things for you. And for some people, that's true. But really, it's not that huge of a percentage of people. For others, it's fine, but it doesn't have all of those positive effects that you were promised. For others, it's not horrible, but it's just not for me. It's not something I'm comfortable doing. It's not something that I'm going to get any benefits out of. So why would I push myself into that? For many, many people, you may be too sensitive. If you're a highly sensitive person, this may be exactly the wrong thing for you, and it could send your system haywire. And there is nothing wrong with you if that's the case. Sometimes that just happens. Sometimes things are just too much for your particular nervous system, and you have to make the decisions based on what works for you. What is okay with your nervous system? Not what is okay with somebody else's nervous system, but what is okay with your nervous system. And then there are some people who go into that ice bath and have a heart attack. Okay, I know that seems super dramatic for me to say, but the fact is, people look at these things and think, oh, it's no big deal. It's an ice bath. It can only be good. When actually, for some people's bodies, it's a really, really bad thing. Okay, so with energy healing, I have to carefully filter what I'm putting out there. I can do that quite easily in a group setting. I can even do it for people who will come across it in that group setting. But what I don't have the power to do is filter it to make it okay for anyone on the internet who may come across it at some random point in time. Do you understand that? Because it's just not okay for me to put out things that are too powerful and therefore can hurt somebody. So what I would have to do to put out some energy healing to the whole public is dial down the levels so it's okay for everyone, regardless of their body at that particular moment, regardless of their mindset at that particular moment. And dialing it down means it's not as effective for those people that it would actually be beneficial for. So that's why I put my energy healing behind the paywall. Okay, so when you become a paid subscriber to Intellect and Intuition, or when you work with me one on one, I can tell easily what would work for you and what doesn't work for you because I see energy. I can see your energy reacting to what I'm doing. And that's not something I can do for the entire public. Now, in regards to sound healing, I do vocal healing 95% of the time because vocal healing is easily stopped by the person who is receiving it. So if I go in an area that is not okay to go in, my voice goes, eh. I mean, it's just like that. You'll hear this sometimes if you are attending the group coaching sessions. You will hear me do that sometimes. And that means somebody who is on the call at that moment or who will be listening to the call put up a barrier and said, no, don't go there. Stop right now. So that is the huge advantage of vocal sound healing because the voice is the easiest thing for somebody who is receiving it to control. Now, the hardest thing to control, just to give you an example, is crystal bowls. Now, crystal bowls, are beautiful and wonderful and amazing for certain people. This is just like the cold plunge thing, okay? But they are like surgical scalpels, okay? If you are working with someone who is an expert in crystal balls and who is intuitively connected to you, that person can understand what bowls will work for you and what bowls will not work with you, what vibrations they should be using and not using. Okay. But when you just find some random thing and listen to it, that can actually cause damage. Or when you're in a group setting and have heard crystal bowls, that can actually cause damage. So I compare crystal bowls to antibiotics. And I think this is actually a really good analogy, a really useful analogy. So antibiotics will save the life of people with bacterial infections. They can be incredible. Or you can have antibiotic resistant bacteria and it doesn't do much good at all. Or you can have a virus and it's not even going to treat it. It's not going to do anything at all. Or you can have anaphylaxis to that particular antibiotic and put your life and your energy at risk. And here I am sounding very dramatic, but frankly, a lot of my practice is healing the damage caused by energetic and sound healing that people experience with somebody who doesn't have their filters in place, who is not connected enough to know when they should stop and places they should not go. Now, you may be wondering, but you still play the flute and you still play the drum. And that is true. I do, though not all that often in terms of recordings. And when I play the drums, I set filters on them. So anyone listening, especially if it's for the public, anyone listening, it lowers the power of that instrument considerably. Now, you can hear this most clearly in this video of my grandfather drum. I post this video every anniversary of 9/11 because the grandfather drum was very important to me on 9/11. Now, grandfather drums are big medicine, extremely powerful. So I had to filter that down for the public. And if you listen to this, it doesn't sound, if you know what a powwow drum sounds like, this is an antique instrument and it has this deep, resonant, reverberating sound. And instead of this boom, 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 you kind of get a, and that is the filter bringing down the power of the drum in the same way that someone can stop my voice, because that drum is too powerful for the full public. I still put it up because it's meaningful and because I think that people can get something out of it, especially on the anniversaries of 9/11. But I make sure that I don't injure anyone in the process. So does this make sense to you? I put things behind paywalls because the first rule of any healing is first, do no harm. So I want to help people specifically and directly. And if I'm putting it out to the public, I can injure people unless I lower the power of it considerably. So that's why I put my energy and sound healing behind a paywall. Now, if you have a question for me, any question at all that you would like to submit anonymously to ask me anything, you can submit that to celiakane.com/ask-me-anything. Now hit subscribe so you know when I post my next video, and join me in intellect and intuition for group coaching on much deeper issues and much deeper questions. Now that's at celiakane.substack.com. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.